Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on Superman and Lois. Or Superman and Lois Season 2, let's be exact. So Superman and Lois has been on a bit of a break due to the Winter Olympics, and I haven't done really any videos on it because there hasn't been anything really released about it, because all the stuff that was released, or that needed to be released, was done before the break. So there's been nothing to talk about until really now. So we're back in less than a week with Superman and Lois Season 2 to continue the early insanity that, has gone on early within this season. But of course, we are all curious. We're all curious, don't lie. We are all curious to see where this season goes, as I would assume we won't get too many, if any, more breaks from this point forward, unless the March Madness college basketball decides to, slap us across the face again. But who knows what happens there. But of course, this season we have Bizarro making himself known to Earth Prime, but we also have some other things going on, mainly Jonathan Kent partaking in some illicit extracurricular activities, if you want to call it, or shall we say, inhaling that Fanta dust, or, well, ex-kryptonite, as the professionals would say. Now, we weren't sure where that was going to go exactly. Sure, it's going to go somewhere because why introduce it, but we weren't sure where it 100% leads. The trailer for the return episode, the one airing in less than a week, did show like Jonathan sort of going toe to toe with his brother Jordan in a fight, and of course Jordan genetically got powers from his father, so obviously whatever this ex-kryptonite's doing to Jonathan is working, seeing he's going toe to toe with Jordan. So maybe we'll get some more development in that episode and some more seeds being planted to where it will eventually go. But thanks to set photos from the past, like literally about an hour and a half from when I'm making this video, but probably 24 hours when the video will go up. I don't know when I'm going to upload it anyway, but we know that this whole Jonathan thing, it's going somewhere. Where it ends, that's another question, but we have a good amount to talk about as to where it currently is in regards to the filming schedule. But of course, throughout the video, be sure to let me know your general thoughts, opinions, reactions, theories as well. Always curious to read what you guys are thinking, because, you can never, guess and be sure on adaptations. They're not just going to straight up adapt something from the comics, going to have some own creative liberty. And as we know, with Superman and Lois is based off season 1 and even just the beginning of season 2, we all thought it was Doomsday, but it's Bizarro. So they like to do some twists and turns there. So we didn't even know what's going to happen here with this story. I'm expecting a twist. That's where I'm at. Maybe I'll be disappointed if there's not a twist, but there will be a twist. Let's be honest, there's going to be a twist. But yeah, let me know your general thoughts and, reactions and stuff there in the comments. And of course, if you're going to enjoy the video and you're excited for this, want to drop a like on the video to do all that. So firstly, shout out to Canada Graphs. He's the one that got these photos. They're from his Patreon. Maybe by the time this video goes out, he would have put them out publicly, but at the moment they're from his Patreon, so I will link that in the description down below for future reference. Now, just to preface these are actually filmed in Vancouver, in the city. Now, Superman and Lois hardly films there because, as we know, the show is based in Smallville, so that's where they film all the time. Like, they hardly film in the metropolitan area of Vancouver. Really, like, just like little bits here and there. It's not like the Flash, where the Flash films everything there for the most part. It's either in the city or it's in a studio. Same with like Supergirl previously and Batwoman and all this stuff. Superman and Lois and maybe like Legends are like the two shows that don't really film in that main area. But Superman and Lois went on vacation, they went on a field trip, and they went to the city, and that's where they filmed. Now, we don't know the episode number. I'm going to say it's like episode 10 maybe, because I remember maybe like a few weeks ago, one of the actors saying they were like finishing episode 7 or 8. So I'm going to say 10, but that's just a rough guess. But the first photo we have here is of Tyler Hoechlin as Superman, just hanging out with fans. So he's just taking a photo with his little girl. Obviously, I gotta assume her mum or dad taking the photo from the other side of the shop. Just being Superman. I mean, come on. It's Tyler Hoechlin. He's pretty much spot on Superman, and he's doing his job here, and you gotta love it. You can't be angry at that. All you can do is smile when you see that. Now, there's one thing of interest in that photo, but we're going to reference it back later when we look at another photo, but some of you guys might have already caught it, but we'll come back to that later. Don't worry, I'm not forgetting it. But here is the one that's interesting. So we see Tyler Hoechlin just smiling and posing for the camera, and there's someone next to him. So he's just Superman. It looks like he's been in a fight. It looks like his belt's all like blackened out and stuff like that. It looks like he's maybe been hit by like fire or like a bomb or something like that, or like whatever it might be. It looks like it's been maybe some fire breath or something along those lines. Looks like he's been in a battle of sorts. But who the hell is that behind him? There's someone there with some red pants, like a studded belt, and a earring, and a leather jacket. Who the hell is that? What's going on there? Who's that? Well, it's Jonathan. It's Jonathan with some eyeliner, a mohawky sort of thing going on, but more importantly, the red House of L, Superman crest, Superman symbol, whichever way you want to put it, on a black t-shirt, complete with a leather jacket and everything like that, next to Superman, looking at something as if they're going to fight it. Jonathan has become what we can assume is a version of Superboy, if not just Superboy on the show. Jordan triggered? Is Jordan triggered? I don't know. We don't know what. Just to preface, Jordan is not in these set photos. Maybe they're versing Jordan. He's off screen, or like it's gonna be like a CGI Jordan, but he's not in these set photos from what we know. From what we know, he's not in them. Now, this is extremely surprising that we're seeing this. You always play the risk of actually you pretty much confirm that these photos are going to go out when you do film in this metropolitan area, so they mustn't really mind too much. I don't think that this is getting out there. If anything, this might get people excited. However, it just knows where Jonathan. We just know where Jonathan's story is going to go. Even though I think we assumed it was going to go either the path where he just becomes a version of Superboy, or he becomes a villain. But are you going to make one of Superman's sons a villain? And then again, Jonathan Kent in the comics is Superboy. He's the current Superboy. So they're sort of following the comics, but they're putting a twist on here as well. So his suit here looks good. We have a full shot, which we'll get to in a second. But they're playing around, so it looks like based off this that Superboy and Superman are teaming up. They're not versing each other or anything like that. So there's no worries there. Now he's got the earrings going on in both ears. It's like a very punk rock sort of look, which does play into the comic books, and we'll refer to the look that they're like adapting from. But I like the look. Some people called it like a bit cringy, but it's a comic book. They're adapting it. They're taking their own take on certain things. If you don't like it, that's fair enough. But you can't like go, oh well, they won't comic accurate with this thing, and then attack them for having a go at being comic accurate in another thing. You gotta either be with it or against it completely. You just kind of keep changing sides. But I like the look. Obviously we don't know. Like I'm assuming that he might have like a bit of a different attitude or something, because this doesn't really straight up fit Jonathan as a character as we have at the moment. So I'm curious to see like why this design choice. Then again, maybe this is a multiverse Jonathan. I have no idea. There's a lot of no context, if that makes sense. We have like zero context to where we get to at this point outside of what we already have on the show, where he's taking X kryptonite. So yeah, I'm curious to see where it all leads and how we get to this point. But here is the full shot. Obviously he's got the mask on, because this I think was him actually walking to set, so you got to wear the mask until you're actually on set. But you can see, we already saw the red pants, but you can see the gloves, like the fingerless or the tipless gloves, the red gloves. It looks Superboy, and you might be wondering, well, what do you mean by it looks Superboy? Like he's not, like some people might think that Superboy is just like, well, a younger version of a Superman. He just in a smaller suit or something like that, just not as big. But as we can see here, it's obviously based off like the Connor Kent from the 90s and like the whole and like I think early 2000s as well, with the death of Superman, starting from the death of Superman. So you have the one that wears like the glasses and everything that was in the death of Superman, but then it goes on and he actually continues to wear his suit like this. So you can see what they're going for. They're going for a more straight up, like maybe like proto version, if you want to call it, and just a suit that like that Jonathan can just put together himself, if you want to call it. So you got the red pants, you got the red gloves, you got the leather jacket, you got the symbol, which sort of mixes together like the more modern version that you would have seen on stuff like Titans, for example, and Young Justice and everything like that. And then you mix it together with like the original version, from the death of Superman and everything like that. So though this is Jonathan Kent, they're mixing the Connor Kent, the couple of the Connor Kent versions together as well for the the aesthetic of it, at least at this moment in time. So some people might not like it. I love it just because it's having fun with the comic takes and combining them and everything like that. I'm just very curious, as I said, to see like what his attitude is, the story that gets to this point and everything like that. Even though, as I said, I think they're filming like episode 10. It might be episode 11. I don't know. So we're already like halfway there, really. Like I think when we come back, I think it's episode 5 when we come back, I'm pretty sure. unless it was at episode 6, whatever the episode is. We're around halfway there to get into this point anyway. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Now, as I said earlier, we had that Superman like sort of taking the photo, or Tyler Hoechlin as Superman taking the photo with that little girl, and there was something in that photo that looked a bit off, and we'll just go to another photo which still has the same thing that I'm going to point out, and that's this one here, where once again he's with Jonathan, but look at his cape. His cape is all tattered, and you might be wondering, well, that doesn't matter anything, or that doesn't matter at all. But whose cape is also tattered in the show at the moment, and that's Bizarro. Now, am I saying that this is Bizarro? No, because also in that photo earlier, you could see like the front of Superman was like blackened out. It looks like someone's either breathed fire on him, which is what Bizarro does, or maybe he's like, there's been like an explosion, which is like sort of burnt the front of him, which also could have messed up his cape, or maybe he was in some fire, something like that. But I just thought I'd reference the cape just because I know people would pick it out, and it does look like Bizarro's cape as we have it at the moment, though Bizarro's suit is a bit more weird. And also, like, I was wondering, is like, but if he filmed Bizarro scenes, he'd wear a different suit, wouldn't he? Because the Bizarro is obviously flipped. Now, obviously, you could do that in post and just flip Tyler Hoechlin himself, but then you got to like do scenes where he's around other people, and that might be really, really finicky. You'd probably just be better off making another suit. So I just think he's been like an explosion, and it's not Bizarro, but just keep that in mind. I'm going to say just Superman. Like, I'm 80% sure it's just Superman with like a damaged suit, but it could be Bizarro. Just keep that in mind. And I'm just basing that off the cape, and that's it, because we've seen that earlier, or in the earlier episodes for this season. But yeah, that's it to go over. But this is cool. I'm excited to see where we get, you know, the lead up from where we are in Superman and Lois season 2 right now to this point in the season, and also beyond where it goes to finish it off. Obviously, the big question mark is, where the hell is Jordan? What's going on with him? Because he's the one that was genetically getting these powers, and the first Superboy we actually get to see on set is the one that, well, got them through X-Kryptonite. So yeah, that's a big question, but I'm sure that'll all be answered when we, you know, come back to the show in less than a week, and I don't know if we'll get any more breaks with it. That's a wait and find out. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show your support. Let me know in the comments section down below your various opinions on all this. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Are you in somewhere in the middle? Any theories going forward? Do you think he's going to be an evil Superboy? Maybe start off there, or do you think he's good from the get-go? Let me know all your thoughts down there. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.